Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer, and this is The Road to the Record, where I work to achieve mastery of 10 games in a hunt for the best score of the Decathlon. If you like what you see, remember to hit that like button. You want to see more? Hit subscribe. Let the games begin. This is Pro Cycling Manager 2019, Pro Cyclist Classics Rider, episode number 4. And we do have a Classics on our hand this time. It's about a 200k ultimately sprint, but with some undulation, a few mini climbs towards the end. I don't think we'll see a full bunch sprint in this one, but from the list of favorites, it does appear that there are going to be some higher level riders going up against us in this one, and therefore probably out of my element. Therefore I'm maybe looking for the break or playing the role of teammate. Now that my average has jumped to 73, if you did not see the last episode, go back and check that out because it was amazing what happened in that last one. I'm still pumped up about that. We jumped from a 69 to a 73 in 2 days. And you see that one of the favorites here, Arthur Visho, he's a 74, and he's on that list. Now, that doesn't mean that I would be equivalent to that, but it means that I'm starting to get up to that level. Also, because of the success of those 2 days, my team principal very happy, and that's going to boost me up a lot in the team pecking order. So between the average, between the boss happiness, I'm going to start getting leader roles way more often than before. That doesn't mean that I'll get that here. I wouldn't be surprised at all if a sprinter with a decent amount of climbing capability would be the favorite for the day. Beyond that, in reserve, Punchy rider, Classics rider like myself, should be suited to this, but I've got a long ways to go till I actually get to that level I need to be. But those 2 days, massive progress towards that. So Puncher, outsider, finished in the top 30. Breakaway, 60 of the final 130k. So nothing initially, but 65 eventually. So they want me to break away before the finish, and that would ultimately come down to one of those final climbs to try to get away and win from the break from there. But ultimately, is it top 30? Yeah, finished in the top 30. So which one am I looking at? Do I go for the objective of finishing in the top 30, or do I go for the break? That's ultimately going to come down to reading the situation and feeling it out, see how the race is going, see what kind of break there is towards the end, whether it's worth it to try to go early. Well, for me, it would certainly be worthwhile to go early. Those last 2 climbs are pretty steep. The final 2 before the finish, not really climbs, but short, punchy ones, those are little opportunities as well. Maybe the final one. So we'll watch out. I won't go too early. One of those last 4, the highest peak, and then each one getting a little bit shorter from there. The 2 prior to that, not worth it at that point. Hopefully that'll damage the field. Final 66 kilometers, and we're getting yo-yoing at the front, anywhere between about 20 riders and the entire group. But you can see from the helicopter shots, at least occasionally, that it is really starting to open up, at least behind these first 78. We're still getting some yo-yoing in amongst these 80 or so riders, but behind that, that gap has opened quite a bit. I'm going to start to slow it down. Breakaway of 7 is down to a minute and a half on their lead. McGeo is in the break. And again, we see a split, just 20 riders, but here comes a whole bunch trying to get back on, neutralizing our attack. Koenig's the only one left in the group besides myself. Everybody else has already been dropped, and Koenig just now dropped, at least for the moment. Still getting a lot of yo-yoing, but more and more riders are getting left behind. We're about to hit that second climb. It's really going to shake things up. Now, I'm already down to about 40K, so I'm not going to be in a situation where I'm going to get the full puncher outsider breakaway requirement. But a top 30 is certainly looking likely right now, as at least at the moment, Peloton's down to just 32 riders and 5 left off the front who, while they have a minute, are going to be pretty exhausted, so they'll get caught. And they'll probably, most of them anyway, be dropped. Meaning I'm looking very much at that top 30 at this point. There's still only, 29 more riders, only 45 seconds behind. And the pace just went out of the group. This is the kind of place to attack as a punchy rider. As we head up this next climb. And there do appear to be some, Gisbert, Lawson Craddock, Tarasi, but as they lift the pace, gives us a chance to maybe do something here. I could probably bridge the gap to those 5. And it looks like there's a couple going for it. So into a group of 3 off the front, group of 5 off the front. Sean Bennett here in amongst it. Kambao. My neighbor's car alarm going off. You could probably hear that. I believe that would be the garbage truck. Too loud right next to it. Probably set it off. I doubt they made any contact or anything. Just a situation where they offset it. So now we have 8 riders off the front. I'm in amongst it. There are 21 giving chase. We have 40 seconds between us and the peloton. I will at least get some sort of... I should get 25% anyway. Ooh, 20 riders now. 20 riders. Ease up, ease up. I don't need to be leading this thing out. Ease off, come on. There's the top. I'll recover a little bit on the descent, but I am out of energy, at least currently. ...21 riders. That's the top 30 I needed. And then some. Cover a little bit more here. I'd love to grab water real quick, but I'm at the front of the group and I don't want to drop back. We're about to hit this next climb, and there's a good chance I will get dropped on it. And so I'm not recovering terribly well, even though the heart rate's quite low. It's taken a while. Bonifacio, get some observe points here. Punchy, wow, see, he's fresh. Pierre Roland, or not Pierre, whatever his first name is, but anyway, Roland's. Alright, well, I've recovered better than I thought, and this is actually kind of another chance to get away, but I'm not going to take that right now. So Berhain is going. Now you're getting the punchy guys trying to push the tempo a little bit. This could leave some off the back. No, more are joining. It's going the wrong way. Now some are coming off the back. I think those last 2 are enough to get some separation. .26 riders now, almost over the top here. $18K. Should get water, but no, I think I'm okay. I think I'll make it to the end of the race without getting the water. Okay, 24 now. 24 riders. 2 have dropped off the back. They may get back on, but they'll be out of contention. So I'm looking at a top 25. All alone. Didn't get credit for my little break. I don't think I'm getting any credit now. No, it's only been seen as 2K. Really? I was up front longer than 2K. Alright, now there's going to be 2 climbs to this. You need to be in a good position on the first and then essentially attack the second. So we're coming up on the first right here. I'm going to take this left-hander, so I'm going to move up a little. Too strong, too fast. Okay, I'm in the right position. It's short. There's the top already.
Another flat tire.
Ooh, I'm off the front. I wasn't trying to get off the front. I just tried to make sure I don't get dropped. Relax and recover here on the descent. 25 seconds clear. On the flat, I'm a little better than I used to be. I'm still 26 seconds clear. But how long will this energy last? 7K to go. 7K. 19 seconds now. 17 seconds. Use my gel now. Running out of energy.
The riders are entering the last 5 kilometers of the stage.
Gotta sit up, try to recover. They finished chasing me down. Gel's just about to kick in. Come on, kick in before I hit this little climb, otherwise I'm doomed. Here come the attacks before the climb. 4 riders.
The finishing line within reach.
And to Marquee, one of them.
Percentages that the strongest can create some gaps.
I'm in a good position. It's 2K to the end from here. Downhill for a little bit. 1K.
And the final
Round the corner. Round the corner. Sprint. This is going to be a top 10. It's going to be a top 10. Not a win, of course. And Tamarki takes the win. Delaplace. Delmont. 4th place. 4th place. What was that objective? 30? Ah. Top 5. A little bit worried after getting off the front on the penultimate climb there. I didn't mean to. I was just trying to be in a good position, figuring that a bunch of riders were going to attack. I was trying to not get dropped. I was not trying to drop them. So that did not go quite according to plan. And then I was really worried after that happened that I was doomed. For a moment I thought I could go away for the win. But I quickly realized that the flat section was just, it was too long. It was much too long. And they were closing me down quickly and my energy was running out. So the fact that I still recovered enough to salvage a top 5 was a phenomenal race. That should come with a good payout in terms of points as well, and points for leveling up.
And here are a few of the
So we'll see how much we get in pole. That really goes to show just how important positioning is. Because I didn't have the energy, and I'm no sprinter. I should have been 13th, but I got 4th. Why? Because I was in the right place. And even though I didn't have much energy left for any kind of sprint or anything, these guys were lagging behind, chasing, and I'm just trying to hang on as best I can. So, exceptional evaluation, poor evaluation, but that's worth 51 points. Taking 4th was much more important than spending 65k in the break. I did add 7k to it on that final punchy breakaway that I had there. I really wish, it was way more than 2 kilometers that I was at the front prior. It wasn't a long time, but it was something like 10, 12 kilometers. So I was really surprised that I only got credit for 2. Did I miss something? Was there somebody else ahead of me part of that time? I don't remember. There might have been. Was there still a break? Memory's a fickle thing, and it's already surpassed my memory. So 51 points though, well on my way. 3 days worth of racing. I've leveled up twice, 2.5 levels. Well, I started close to leveling, so it's really 1.5 levels that I've gained, but still, massive gains in just 3 days. Next day, we have another classic. Let's go ahead and take a brief look at that profile before I jump into it. I may also take a moment to see kind of what the payout was for that race. Profile for this one, it's the same. So, new day, new classic, same course is being used though. So, great thing here is I know it. I know it this time, so I know what to expect going into it. It's a lot punchier than what I thought from the initial profile, for sure. Okay, so one other thing here I've been looking into it, I've been doing my research on, and my research is now complete, actually, just now. Every day that you do not race, once you begin the 8 weeks prior to your fitness peak, and it's a bar that's got to fill, okay? So it's a bar you're looking to fill up at 100. Every day that you do not race, no matter how you train, no matter whether you're taking a break, light, medium, or hard training, you get 2.25 points per day, not 2.3. They're rounding up. 2.25. So you get 9 points every 4 days. Every day that you race, you don't get the training points, you get racing points, and that's 3.0. So you get 0.75 more for every day that you race, which pushes you up further and further. So it's 45 days if you do not race once in those 8 weeks prior to your objective that's coming up. And actually, see this one, it's 50 days away, that next objective. So at this point, I have just the 1 day of racing. I'm looking at hitting it in about 45 total days, and we're already 6 days in. So 39 days. At this point, I'm about 11 days ahead of schedule already. It's always going to hit you early. So scheduling your objective, sometimes you might actually want to schedule it for an event after, if it's a week after or 2 weeks after. So you're hitting it at the right time for the actual event that you want it on. You know, if you're going to schedule an objective for, say, the Tour de France, and it hits it 2 weeks before the Tour de France even starts, yeah, thanks game. If you can, at the time of setting your objectives, maybe you pick something that is the final days of the Tour de France, right? It's Tour de France ends on a Sunday. Maybe it's like a race that's on that Wednesday that week. If it'll let you set that as your objective and then you hit it 2 weeks early, then you're hitting your fitness peak a few days into the Tour de France, and depending on how long it's going to last, you're going to get 2 to 3 weeks, and then you're actually on your fitness peak throughout the tour. Anyway, so quick tip on that. I'm going to talk about it more in an upcoming tutorial that I'm doing on training, fitness peaks, skill tree when you're leveling up, all of that kind of stuff. So a much more in-depth talk than this brief mention here. What was I wanting to check? Let's see. The impact. Oof, I'm up to 18th in continental rankings. In essentially just 3 days worth of racing. So I had no quality results prior to this. Up to 103rd in the Super Prestige now, sitting on 75 points. That's a big jump from where I was at. I was at like 39? I think I had 39 points prior to that race, so that was a good result. But we're going to head into basically the same race again, except for it's this one instead. Different teammates around me for the most part. Otherwise, it's going to be exactly the same. Same race, yet definitely not the same race. Of course, certainly looks the same. A few of the riders are the same, but otherwise, wholesale changes, especially on the tactical side for my team. Now that Whippert is here, our top sprinter, they are going to make every effort, my teammates, are going to make every effort to get Whippert into that final group with a chance to win the stage as a sprinter. That changed my role entirely, so I was a teammate instead of puncher outsider, instead of being given free reign. And that took a little bit out of me, but I did exactly what I needed. 39k at the front. 38's the minimum to get exceptional status on that, so I went just that hair overboard, and it's like 39 flat, by the way, because I stopped leading when I was still on 38, but
Some team managers mustn't appreciate the fact that
these are the 5 breakaway riders. Their lead is now inside of a minute as they begin the first of the climbs. Now, I was fortunate enough to get those 39Ks at the front in within the first probably 55, 60 kilometers of this race, meaning I completed that target early. Spent a lot of time on the front, but I completed it early. Therefore, I had lots of time to recover. It still takes a little bit out of you that you will not recover. It lowers your stamina, it lowers your resistance bar a little bit. Every time you dig deep, it's going to do some damage, lasting damage. But we're going to go ahead and jump back to our group here as we hit the second climb. We're still at ×2 speed right now. It begins on the next climb is where things are going to get interesting. Right now we have the entire group together, and that group just a minute away. Rossetto doing what I tried to do last time out. And I'm sorry, Mr. Whippert, but I'm not going to be taking orders from you anymore. I already did my job for the day. Alafachi looking okay. Whippert's looking okay. I'm looking okay, but everybody else is struggling. Whippert actually not looking so okay. He's out of energy earlier than Gate or Alafachi, so there's a good chance that some of these guys are going to get dropped, but Whippert is near the front, so he's where he needs to be. But if this climb was that much trouble for him, imagine what's going to happen with the subsequent climbs. Starting to see little yo-yos, but ultimately just 6 riders off the back so far. The 6 riders off the front, only 10 seconds. And there you go, they are reeled in. There's no breakaway any longer. This would be the kind of time for me as a punchy guy to try to get away, but I've already seen when and where I can get a fair result. And it's ultimately the last punchy section. So I ultimately just need to stay with the group and make sure I don't get dropped. Actually loving that there's some pace over the top here because it gives me a lot more speed when I'm pushing 90. But it does drain the energy a bit, but I'll recover some here. And meanwhile, there are just 33 riders left in the peloton. Everybody else dropped. No. Alafachi, Whippert, they're bouncing in and out, yo-yoing in and out of contact. So small group, large group, whichever it is, a lot of riders are done for the day already here with 25 kilometers left to go. 26 at the front, 7 chasing, 53 all close behind that. Gap is opening a little bit on the backside. See, yeah, that's not much of a gap. There's a little more behind those 7 though. For sure. Oh, Whippert has fallen. Well, there you go. He's done. Paskins as well. So Paskins in this race as well, but he is further down this time. So now we're down to just 32 at the front, and I'm definitely alone on this matter. This is the last hardest climb of the day. From here, we've just got the two short punchy ones is it. Group starting to shrink a little bit, getting close to the top, but also getting low on energy. But if I can stay in over the top, I'll recover some. "24" made it over the top together. And now here comes the hint of recovery. But it's only a hint. I need some of that yellow bar. Come on. There we go. Got a little bit. Still descending, but we turn this corner and we're going to get back to cycling here. So got a little bit of recovery in there. And I'll just sit on 24 riders. This next one, remember last time I looked to attack. I wasn't trying to attack, but I ended up off the front. I was just trying to stay in a good, advantageous position. But I was in better shape than I am this time. My resistance levels dropping a bit faster today after putting that work in to open the stage. But just 11K left. We're already down to it. Here we go. Here's that little climb. And we're going to hit this. There's the acceleration. This time it's Franchini, Vincent, Millard. Over the top though. Two guys off front. One guy off the front. One escaped. And he's already caught. Little downhill. 8K. Okay, group of 23 to contest it now. And it's that next one, that's where you got to get away. From there, it's pretty easy to the finish. 6K. I'm going to go about 1 more K before I use my gel. I need to recover a little bit more than this, though.
Only 5 kilometers left.
At 150 on the heart rate, I should see a little bit of recovery begin. 3.8K. This is it. 2.9K. I don't have much energy, but it's such a short. Little downhill. I'm off the front. I am off the front. Oh, I can't sprint. I don't have anything left to sprint. Here they come. Here they come. Oh. I was trying to sprint, it didn't let me sprint. Oh, I just needed just a tiny burst of speed. Completely out of energy before the finish. Just squeezed outside of the top 10, 11th. Caught on the line. I nearly got the puncher's dream. Just not enough. Now, if I had 1 more point of resistance, I would have won that race. 2 more points of resistance, I definitely would have won that race. That yellow bar was just too weak. The red bar dropped way too fast. There was one short little climb and I was in the perfect position. I wasn't even attacking and I got that little separation. But that's what a puncher is going to do. Nearly. Let's see, last time worked out a little bit better. This time was almost even better. Nearly pulled off my first win and instead quickly fell down the field, finishing 11th. But the true punchy guy here didn't even see his form has been so low the last couple of years, but he was making such a name for himself. Warren Barguil. Barguil is just an amazing rider that I have so much respect for, but he has just plummeted in form so much in the last couple of years that he's now on a Continental Pro team and their top guy is struggling. One spot away from the top 10. That would have been nicer. But I do get the exceptional status, so I still gain 10 points. Remember, I was just a teammate for that race. Let's see, what is next? Just 2 days away. Another flat one. That's hills, really? I mean, it's clearly not flat, but still looks like it would be a sprint stage. Oh my, I'm not going to have much fun here for the next little while. That one should be fun. Constant up, down, up, down, up, down. Ooh, interesting roll this time. Sprint train. Work the head of the group for 25k with at least one teammate in the group. That's the same kind of role that I normally take, with the exception that I'm supposed to be part of the sprint train this time. Now, how exactly that's supposed to work with the AI, I'll find out. I've never been involved in the sprint train while not being the sprinter. Okay, well, they want me to do some work at the front of the field. So what I'm going to end up doing this time is... Oh, Kearney up there as well, huh?
There's now more than a minute between the breakaway and the pack.
6 riders off the front. Starting to get my work in. 25k, which means I'm going to need to get 33 to be safe for the exceptional status. So we'll kind of roll through for that here real quickly. And then ultimately I'll skip to the end of the stage and really just the last couple K. I will see if I can figure out how to be in the sprint train without having control over any of the other riders.
Several riders are attempting to break away.
I mean, I might be able to, as they form a train, I might be able to follow somebody. And then maybe it'll squeeze me in. Yeah. We'll see. And theoretically, I know how it should work. I just don't know if it'll work that way or not. Untested, untried, unproven. $12K already in, so we're halfway to our objective. And we're just going to go fast from here because this is a piece of cake. Easy task. 75%. 100%, but I want exceptional. Add 25% to get that. Doesn't give you a mark, but there you go, that's it. We've done it, we've made it. Maintain position, relax, cruise to the end. See you in the final 2K. 7K left to go here in the stage. There's only 36 riders in the peloton. Whippert and I are the only ones here. Now, theoretically, I know how to do this if there was somebody else ahead of Whippert. I could follow them and squeeze in between the two of them. But all I have here is I could protect or follow. What good is that going to do? So unless he actually latches on to me, I don't see this going terribly well. Well, there he is. But yeah, see, he's not taking position. I could be behind him and sprint. That's kind of useless, other than catching a ride from a quick sprinter. Well, let's try that. Can I reverse the order? Nope, see?
There goes the mad burst for the final sprint.
Too late for my gel. Doesn't matter now. And let's sprint. Little punch here. Whipper, good job. He's into the top 3.
Well, nobody can dispute that.
Oh, 4th.
It was very well deserved.
Krieger upset him at the line. 11th again.
Are still coming in.
Not bad, all things considered. It's a sprint finish, and I took 11th. And it's a pure sprint finish, so followed those guys home well enough. And Whippert gets 4th. It's a good result for him as well, as he was only just inside the top 10 on the list of favorites.
Now for the best moments of the day.
At the end of the day, that is worth a few points. Plus, I get the exceptional status. Plus, I get Whippert with the best teammate. So, plus 21 points. Could work with that. 3/4 of the way to level 5. It's early March, so we're not leveling up anytime soon. We're not going to get there that way. So, we're going to have to keep plugging away, trying to get some work in. Plenty of racing still to come in the following weeks. Fitness is already high. That's going to boost me time and time again along the way. So, a lot of things to be happy about right now. Couple points there could make a little difference on where I'm at right now. I was, 77-ish moments ago. '83 now, so yeah, that's worth a few points. I think points go down to about 15th place in that type of race. That's up 66 spots this month. But that's going to do it for this episode. I'm Decathlon Gamer. And remember, I'm aiming for the best of the best. So if you're ready to join me on my journey, hit subscribe and tune in next time on my Road to the Record. Bye for now.